You want to know the truth about women? They don't fall for men the way most men imagine. Attraction isn't just about how tall you are, how much money you make, or whether you've got the latest car. Attraction is psychological. It's primal. It's deep in the subconscious. And if you understand even a handful of the right triggers, you can flip a woman's perception of you from average to unforgettable. That's what we're going to talk about today. The 5 psychological tricks to make any woman chase you. Tricks that aren't about manipulation, but about understanding female psychology, standing in your masculine power, and creating a dynamic where women feel pulled towards you without you begging for attention. Now, before we dive in, let me be clear. This is not about turning yourself into someone you're not. It's not about pretending. It's about peeling away the weak habits you've been taught and revealing the man underneath. The man who women naturally respect and desire. If you're here because you're tired of chasing, tired of begging for scraps of attention, tired of being confused about why she's hot one day and cold the next, then stick with me until the very end. What I'm about to tell you will completely shift the way you see attraction, relationships, and even yourself. If you're serious about becoming the man women pursue, not the man constantly trying to prove his worth, then make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Because here, we're not about quick hacks or cheesy lines. We're about transformation, about reclaiming your masculinity, and about using timeless wisdom to thrive in the modern dating world. And as we move forward, I need you to keep an open mind. Some of what I'll say may sting a little, because it will expose the weak spots you've been ignoring. But that's good. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you get raw, when you're willing to face uncomfortable truths. So let's dive into the first key. 1. The power of indifference. Let me start with something that might sound counterintuitive. The less you need her, the more she wants you. Now, don't twist this into some childish game of pretending you don't care when you secretly do. That's not indifference. That's insecurity with a mask on. Real indifference is about being so grounded in yourself, so fulfilled by your own mission, your own life, your own sense of worth, that her validation is a bonus, not your lifeline. Women are wired to test men. They push, they pull, they disappear for a while, they act hot and cold. Why? Because deep in their psychology, they're looking for proof of your strength. Can you stand unshaken when she withdraws affection? Can you stay calm when she challenges your opinions? Can you smile and carry on with your life when she tries to stir your emotions? If you can, she feels something powerful. Safety. Safety not in the sense that you'll protect her from physical harm, but safety in the sense that you are emotionally stable. And that stability is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of indifference. When a man can't control his emotions, when he blows up because she didn't text back or spirals into anxiety because she's distant, she loses respect. But when a man remains calm, when he doesn't need to chase or cling, she starts to chase him, because she senses his emotional independence. Women know deep down that a man who can't control himself will never be able to handle life's challenges. And what's more attractive than a man who can face the storms of life without being knocked off course? Let me give you an example. Picture 2 men. The first is glued to his phone, waiting for her reply, overthinking every word she sends, feeling his mood rise and fall with her attention. The second man sends his message, puts his phone down, and gets back to his workout, his business, his goals. Which man do you think a woman feels drawn to chase? The one who's obsessed with her, or the one obsessed with his mission? The answer is obvious, but here's the real question. Which one are you? And here's something most men never realize. Women respect indifference because it communicates abundance. It says, "I don't need you to feel whole. I have options. I have a life. And I'll be just fine with or without you. Do you see how that flips the script? Instead of you chasing her approval, she starts competing for yours. Now ask yourself this. What would your life look like if you stopped needing women's validation altogether? How much stronger, freer, and more magnetic would you be if your happiness didn't rise and fall with her attention? That's the power of indifference. And once you embody it, women will feel an almost irresistible pull toward you. 2. The mystery she can't solve. Let's be real. Most men are an open book. They overshare, they explain every thought, they reveal their insecurities in the first few weeks. They think that by being transparent, they'll gain her trust. But what actually happens is the opposite. When she feels like she can predict your every move, she gets bored. Desire dies in predictability. A woman needs a sense of curiosity, of unpredictability, of mystery. It's not about lying or playing games. It's about not giving away your entire soul before she's earned it. Seneca said, "It is a great man who can treat his misfortunes as fortune." Think about that for a moment. The Stoics understood that restraint, holding back, not showing everything, is a form of power. The same applies in relationships. If you can hold parts of yourself in reserve, if you can allow her to discover you layer by layer, she feels excited, she feels invested, she feels the thrill of pursuit. Women chase mystery because it makes them feel alive. Consider this. Why do people binge watch entire seasons of a TV series? Because they can't stand not knowing what happens next. Each episode reveals just enough to keep them hooked, but not enough to give the whole story away. That's exactly how you must carry yourself. Share pieces of your life, but not the entire script. Reveal some of your thoughts, but not every detail. Let her wonder what you're doing when you're not with her. Let her guess at what drives you, what challenges you faced, what you're working toward. That unknown is where attraction grows. Now here's where most men sabotage themselves. They confuse honesty with oversharing. Being honest means you don't lie about who you are. Oversharing means you spill your guts, your traumas, your fears, and your every thought before she's even invested in you. That doesn't make her trust you. It makes her feel like your therapist. And no woman wants to chase the man who makes her feel like his emotional caretaker. Instead, think of yourself like a great novel. Every chapter reveals something new, something intriguing, something that keeps her turning the page. You don't throw the entire plot into the first 2 chapters. You let it unfold. That's how you hold her attention. That's how you make her chase. But here's the deeper truth. Mystery isn't just about what you say or don't say. It's about how you live. If your life is predictable, repetitive, and dull, no amount of withholding will make you mysterious. Real mystery comes from living a life that excites even you. Pursuing challenges, exploring new skills, cultivating passions that light you up. When you live like that, you naturally create a sense of mystery, because she can feel that there are always new layers to discover. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you did something that even surprised yourself? When was the last time you stepped so far out of your comfort zone that you had a story worth telling, an experience worth sharing? If you can't remember, then maybe the reason women aren't chasing you isn't because they don't see your worth. It's because you haven't given them a mystery to chase. A man who is mysterious is not hiding. He is revealing slowly with purpose. He is unafraid to keep parts of himself private until they're earned. And that's the man who keeps women hooked, not just in the first few weeks, but for years to come. 3. The unshakable frame. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is giving up their frame. A frame is simply your worldview, your standards, your boundaries, and the way you move through life. The second you abandon it to please a woman, you lose her respect. Women might test your frame, but deep down, they crave it. Why? Because a strong frame makes them feel secure. It shows them you are a man who knows who he is and won't bend like a reed in the wind just to gain approval. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That mastery shows up in how you protect your frame. When she tests you by disagreeing, challenging your boundaries, or pushing your patience, she's not trying to destroy you. She's testing to see if you really believe in yourself. If you cave in just to keep her happy, you've shown weakness. But if you calmly stand firm, if you hold your values without aggression, she feels something rare. Trust in your leadership. Picture this. She wants you to skip your gym session to watch a show. You've already committed to your workout. The weak man cancels his plans, not because he wants to, but because he's afraid she'll be upset. The strong man smiles, says he'll catch up with her afterward, and sticks to his workout. Which man do you think she'll respect more in the long run? Which man do you think she'll chase? The unshakable frame isn't about dominance or being controlling. It's about clarity. You know who you are. You know your standards. You know your mission. And nothing, not even a beautiful woman, will sway you from that. Ironically, it's this firmness that makes her more attracted. Because now she knows that if life throws chaos at you, you won't collapse. She knows she can lean on you, not the other way around. So here's the question I'll throw at you. When was the last time you betrayed your own standards just to please a woman? Did it make her respect you more or less? Think about that, because the answer may reveal why women aren't chasing you. 4. The art of emotional control. Let me be brutally honest. Nothing repels a woman faster than a man who can't control his emotions. I'm not saying you should become a robot, cold and lifeless. What I'm saying is that your emotions should serve you, not enslave you. When you explode in anger, when you sulk in silence, when you beg for reassurance, you've handed her the steering wheel of the relationship. And no woman wants to drive a car with a broken man in the passenger seat. The Stoics had a word for this: apatheia. Not apathy in the modern sense, but freedom from destructive passions. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the art of emotional control. Life will test you. Women will test you. And if you crumble every time, you'll never command attraction. Imagine this. She pulls away suddenly, becomes cold and distant. Most men panic. They blow up her phone, demand answers, spiral into jealousy. But the man with emotional control? He stays calm. He gives her space. He continues living his life. And when she realizes her pullback didn't shake him, her attraction surges, because she's reminded that he's stable, grounded, untouchable. Now here's the paradox. Women often provoke emotions to see what's underneath. They want to know if you're truly strong or if your composure is just a mask. When you stay calm under pressure, when you show measured emotion rather than explosive reaction, you pass the test. That doesn't mean you never feel anger or disappointment. It means you choose how to express it. You speak firmly instead of shouting. You walk away instead of escalating. You address issues with clarity, not chaos. Think of emotional control like holding the reins of a wild horse. The horse is powerful, and without control it can throw you off. But with mastery, it carries you wherever you want to go. Your emotions are the same. They're not enemies. They're forces that require discipline. And here's the deeper level. Emotional control isn't just attractive to women, it's attractive to life. Opportunities, business, leadership, they all flow toward the man who can remain steady under pressure. So let me ask you this. Are you the man who reacts or the man who responds? The man who panics or the man who pauses? Because the answer to that question might explain why women chase you or why they don't. 5. The scarcity of true masculinity. Here's a truth you won't hear often. Modern women are surrounded by men, but starving for masculinity. And I don't mean outdated stereotypes. I mean real masculine energy, strength, direction, discipline, purpose. The kind of energy that makes a woman feel feminine by contrast. Most men today are needy, directionless, addicted to distraction, and terrified of responsibility. And because of that, when a man shows up embodying true masculinity, women can't help but chase him. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Look around today. How many men are wasting their time scrolling, gaming, numbing themselves instead of building a life of meaning? Do you think women feel drawn to that? Or do you think they crave the man who invests his hours into becoming great? The scarcity of masculinity makes the few men who embody it stand out like diamonds in a field of dust. Let me paint the picture. A man walks into a room. He's not the loudest, not the flashiest, but he moves with intention. His body shows discipline, his eyes show focus, his energy says he's here for a reason. Every woman notices, because that kind of presence is rare. That's masculinity. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. It's not aggression, it's calm power. And when a woman feels it, she instinctively leans in, because deep down she wants to feel that strength in her life. Here's where most men go wrong. They think masculinity is about dominating women. Wrong. Masculinity is about mastering yourself. Your habits, your body, your mind, your mission. And when you live that way, women naturally chase you because they can feel that you're aligned with something greater than just desire. You're aligned with purpose. So ask yourself this: if every woman in your life vanished tomorrow, would your life still have meaning? Would your days still be full of purpose, discipline, and growth? If the answer is no, then you've made women your mission, and that's why they're not chasing you. But if the answer is yes, then you've tapped into the true essence of masculinity, and women will chase you, not because you need them, but because you don't. 6. The value of selective attention. Let me tell you something most men don't realize. Attention is the most powerful currency you have. When you give it away freely, constantly, and desperately, it loses its value. But when you become selective, when you give your attention with purpose and discernment, women feel the weight of it, and they chase it. Think about it. If a man showers a woman with compliments, texts her non-stop, and always makes himself available, his attention feels cheap. She knows she didn't have to earn it. But if a man is disciplined, focused on his mission, and gives his attention sparingly, when he chooses to look into her eyes, to listen deeply, to make her feel seen, it's like water in the desert. Suddenly his attention is priceless, and that scarcity makes her chase it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Replace thoughts with attention, and you'll see the point. Your attention shapes your reality. If you waste it on every distraction, on every woman, on every notification, you're bankrupting yourself. But if you invest it wisely, into your goals, your growth, and only the women who truly deserve it, your value skyrockets. Here's where this gets interesting. Women are highly attuned to the value of a man's attention. They know when it's abundant and weak, and they know when it's rare and strong. That's why the man who is selective with his attention is often the one they can't stop thinking about. He's not rude or dismissive, he's just intentional. He doesn't reward bad behavior with constant reassurance. He doesn't chase validation by flooding her with attention. He lets her feel the absence of his focus. And when she earns it, he gives it fully. Ask yourself this: how many women right now have free, unlimited access to your attention? How many are soaking up your energy without giving anything in return? And what would change if you became radically selective about who gets your time, your focus, your presence? Because here's the truth. When you start treating your attention like gold, women will treat it like gold too. 7. The gravity of purpose. Everything we've talked about builds to this final point: purpose. Without it, all the other lessons collapse. You can't be truly indifferent if your life revolves around women. You can't maintain mystery if you're not pursuing something bigger than yourself. You can't hold frame or control your emotions if you're drifting without direction. Purpose is the anchor, the compass, the gravitational force that makes a woman chase you. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Women feel this on a subconscious level. A man without purpose drifts, clings, and loses himself in relationships. A man with purpose, he becomes unstoppable. He draws people in, not because he's trying to, but because his life has momentum. Women chase men of purpose because purpose is rare, and rare things are irresistible. Think about the men you admire: modern leaders, athletes, creators, entrepreneurs. Do women chase them because they spend their time begging for attention? Or do women chase them because they are locked into a mission that consumes them? Purpose creates gravity. It pulls everything toward you: opportunities, respect, attraction. Without saying a word, your energy communicates, "I'm going somewhere." If you want to come along, keep up. And that challenge, that momentum, that fire, it's intoxicating. Here's the paradox: the moment you stop making women the center of your world is the moment women want to be part of your world. When you stop seeking them, they seek you. When you stop chasing them, they chase you. Because nothing is more attractive than a man who doesn't need them, but chooses them. A man who is already whole because he's living his purpose. So, let me leave you with this question. If I stripped away your relationships, your hookups, your dates, what would be left? Would there still be a mission that gets you out of bed in the morning? Would there still be a fire in your eyes? Or would your entire life collapse without women? The answer to that question defines whether women will chase you or whether you'll spend your life chasing them. The truth about making women chase you is that it's not about games, manipulation, or tricks. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, because his life already carries power, purpose, and presence. Indifference, mystery, frame, emotional control, masculinity, selective attention, and purpose. These are not temporary tactics. They're lifelong disciplines. A woman doesn't chase you because you fooled her. She chases you because you remind her of something rare, something she doesn't want to lose. So here's my final piece of advice. Stop chasing women and start chasing excellence. Build yourself into the man who doesn't need them, and watch how quickly they line up to prove themselves to you. Subscribe to this channel because the journey doesn't end here. And if you're ready to go deeper, to master yourself, and reclaim your masculine power, I'll be here waiting to guide you. Until next time, stay strong, stay disciplined, and never forget: the man you become is the magnet for the woman you desire.